I've listened to you in the comments section, Falcons fans. I've gone back, I've watched the tape, and now it is finally time for Moose to admit to all of you that it is time to have a tough conversation about the Atlanta Falcons. Welcome in, Dirty Birds fans, to Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name, like I said, is Moose, and like I also told you, today's episode is going to be kind of an enigma, kind of like the Atlanta Falcons in 2025. I still cannot figure this team out for the life of me. What are they? Because there are moments, there are games, there are quarters and halves that I'm like, this is a top 5 team in the NFL. And then there are times when I'm like, blow this entire thing up and start over. They cannot put together any sort of consistency in 2025. They are literally the definition of a bipolar football franchise. How do you go up against the Minnesota Vikings and establish that kind of dominant play, and then the very next week get blown out to the Carolina Panthers 30-0? How do you go up on Monday Night Football against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills and make him look scared for his life in the pocket, and then go out and fall flat against Mac Jones and the San Francisco 49ers the very next week? How do you go from energy and emotion like Raheem Morris is showing right here to utter disbelief, panic, confusion, and ultimately feeling like Michael Penix Jr. did when he got sacked, strip sacked, actually, by the 49ers? I just don't get it. I don't understand. It's just like there are so many different questions that I have for this coaching staff as to what are we talking about in practice? What are our practice habits like? What is the vibe before the game? And honestly, what do the players think of you? Because it is so peaks and valleys every single game. Clutch Points, one of my very favorite sports blogs to read, was talking a little bit about the Falcons in 2025. Specifically when it came to this loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Hear what they had to say. This was Atlanta's second straight primetime letdown under head coach Raheem Morris. It left the team searching for answers to familiar problems. They saw inconsistent quarterback play, a disappearing run game, and ultimately defensive lapses. With the loss, the Falcons now fall to 3-3 and slipped into third in the NFC South. This was a sobering reality for a team that is built to win now. But here's the thing. This isn't the entire whole story. Because every single time, myself included, I'll be the first one to admit, I was on the hype train. After the Bills game, I'm like, you need to give the Falcons their respect. They can beat the very best teams. But we also saw that they can lose to backups. I just don't get it. How do you have dominant performances against the Minnesota Vikings and against the Buffalo Bills and still fuck up the next week? I don't understand. And as I alluded to earlier in the episode, at times this team looks like a top 5 team. It does. You can't convince me that defense against the Vikings, against the Bills, and their play against the Washington Commanders, that they didn't have performances we were like, oh my Lord, look at this team. Oh my Lanta, what's going on here? This is something special. But also in the same vein, you got games like the Buccaneers where you lose a heartbreaking loss because you miss a field goal. You get shut out on the road to the Carolina Panthers. And then on the road against the San Francisco 49ers, you put up a big fat a big fat goose egg. It was just a blunder of a game. And social media is reacting the very same way that I am. They don't understand. One of my favorite Falcons Twitter sites said this, and I thought this was a very sobering statistic. The Falcons entered Sunday night as the second total offense in the NFL based on yards, but that's empty calories. They are now a bottom 5 scoring offense at 18.3 points per game. That's worse than the Bengals, the Dolphins, who you play this coming Sunday, and the goddamn Jets. What? At some point, you have to ask Raheem Morris what the hell is going on. Because ultimately, with what the players are saying about the talent in their room, with the talent that we see on paper, we have no business being as bad as we are in certain spots. And the more and more that I think about Raheem Morris's inability to coach this team, the more and more he's proving me right. I have wanted to defend Raheem so badly. And then he said this bullshit about the 10 men on the field 10 men on the field situation against the San Francisco 49ers when this iced the game. A defensive tackle was missing from the field on that critical 3rd and 13 that San Francisco converted in the fourth quarter on Sunday, which ultimately iced the game. Raheem Morris said that particular position shouldn't have impacted the play to that degree. With 3rd and 13, that shouldn't matter. You should still get off the grass, he said. If it had been a corner or a deep dropper, I would have called timeout. Or if it had been a 3rd and 1 with a defensive lineman missing, I would have called timeout. Dude, what the hell are you talking about? It is not the play design or the play result. It is the timing of the situation. It is late in the fourth quarter with a chance to go ahead and take the lead, stop this team, force a field goal. It doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 13. Have 11 men on the field. Like, what are we doing? What kind of response is this? It's an inept one. And I understand where he's trying to come from, right? Like, he's looking at it from a situational football perspective. But if you take away that, I don't even know what you want to call it, that this situation, and you look at it from a bird's eye view and you say, it's 3rd and whatever, late in the fourth, you have an opportunity to stop the opposing offense to get back in the football game, and you have 10 men on the field. It's inexcusable. Raheem said that. Jeff Ulbrich said that. And I'm not absolving Jeff Ulbrich either. Like, as a defensive coordinator, that is still your defense as well. Be better. I just don't get it. My belief in Raheem Morris is waning every single day. Every single day, it just gets a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less. I've got more to say on the whole subject coming up here in just a little bit. But before I do that, I got to tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. You don't want to miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Prize Picks is the only app, by the way, that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the exact same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So if you wanted to pick more on Bijan Robinson's rushing yards, passing yards, and total touchdowns, receiving yards and total touchdowns, you can now pick that in the exact same lineup only on Prize Picks. Follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineup in just one click, whether it is a friend, a celebrity partner like producer Alper, or just someone whose picks you absolutely love. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the brand new feed tab over on Prize Picks. How do you play? Pick the player, pick the more or the less on their stat projections, and then just watch your money grow. Up to 2,000 times your money this football season on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Let's get more newsy about everything when I'm talking about why this is a tough thing to talk about with the Falcons. Morris said that it was very possible that Divine Diablo is going to go on IR. Now, where does this tie into what we're talking about? It's not going to get better right away. It just isn't. It isn't. Because despite the injuries, this team is full of talent, and we continuously see the disappointing losses due to the inept coaching mistakes. 13-10, late in the fourth, 3rd and 13, you have 10 men on the field. Even producer Alper right now is laughing. It's hysterical. And if you don't believe me that this team believes in itself from a player perspective, Jake Matthews, our left tackle, had this to say. We didn't execute. We got all the pieces and the confidence. We have to go out there and get it done like we did last week against the Bills and consistently do that. then we'll be the team that we know how to be. And it's not just the coaching mistakes in weird windows. It's the red zone offense is just diabolically bad. They are second to last, the penultimate position for passing touchdown percentage in the red zone in 2025. 7%. The only team that's worse, the Giants, and they've got a brand new quarterback. Also, by the way, they have the worst red zone scoring percentage in the NFL on the road. 28.5%. How can you be second in yards going into that game against the 49ers and now be a bottom 5 team in points per game? It just doesn't make sense, other than the fact that your play calling is predictable, your quarterback is not progressing, and you're just making boneheaded decisions. Moose, what was it like last year? There you go. This is total red zone percentage efficiency, by the way. Like, as a whole. 2025, it is 44.4% of the time that you're scoring when you're in the red zone. In 2024, with Kirk Cousins, it was 54.7. Those numbers are actually deceiving as well because Kirk got injured. And then he started on that interception brigade. Final translation. I don't know how long I can defend Raheem Morris. I really don't. Because at some point, with the talent that you've got on this team, an MVP candidate running back in Bijan Robinson, you've got Drake London, you've made the right decisions and the right personnel calls on your defense, you've drafted well, Xavier Watts, Billy Bowman, Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., everybody looks like a hit. And yet we're still 3-3, dealing with the same bullshit that we dealt with last year. I don't get it. So my confidence level in Raheem right now is like a 3. Because my guess is that we go up against the Miami Dolphins this Sunday, and you win convincingly. Great. Then what about the next week? Because you got the Patriots after that. And that's a really good team. That's all I got for you on this episode. A reminder, hit that subscribe button. Like today's video. I apologize if it's not the good news you wanted to hear, but this is what I'm seeing. I'm calling it like I see it. As always, Falcons fans, rise up and be cool.